Buckle up. It's the Insurance Dudes podcast.
Yeah. What have you done to build that culture?
Bring the right people in that are like-minded people, just people that are really super high energy, competitive, but also have high teamwork. So, I want everybody to be the best and compete with one another, but at the same time, help each other out. So just, again, I think I give other people opportunities and kind of enable them to be the best. Like I hold them accountable, but at the same time, I'm not on top of them, like micromanaging their entire day. Like if you hit your numbers, you hit your numbers, and I give you a lot of rope. If you're not hitting your numbers, I'm tightening that rope and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So for the folks that earn that trust, I let them run, just freaking go after it.
How much easier is it to look into those analytics with the system that you're running?
It's great. I mean, I've been able to look at it more at a granular level. So now I don't have to worry about really the outbound activity as far as like prospecting stuff. Now it's more like managing your pipeline. So the folks that we have coming in, so we quote them. So we're quoting prospects, having conversations, building trust rapport. Now the folks that we're following up with, they're already quoted. So they're just following up with their pipeline. If you're not following up with your pipeline, then what are we even doing, right? So it's much more easier to hold people accountable to talking people to that you already spoke to than it is like a cold call, right?
Yeah. And it's more fun, right?
Yeah. You can call them up and ask them how the game was and, what do you think about the weather and, how the kids and, leaving all those good notes.
Yeah.
Yep. And what, so you say the front lines, you have telemarketers, you said 10, right?
Yeah, we're at 10 now. Mm-hmm.
How many quotes are you getting? I mean, you must be getting a lot of activity over to the agents. What are they quoting and the agents quoting?
Yeah, I do it by household. So I just measure how many households we're quoting a day. And we're averaging about 55 to 60 quoted households a day. Last Friday, we quoted 72 households, which is the highest we've done so far with 10 telemarketers. That was pretty exciting. But that's really what we're averaging.
Nice.
That is awesome.
And with that kind of activity, you can't help but get results, right? Then it's like you have this now. Okay, now I can focus on training these guys and gals to be killers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have to. Yeah, absolutely. And it's the sales process, making sure we're consistent with the sales process and asking for the sale. It's crazy, but to your point, I don't have to worry about them, spending all day calling out. I just want to sit with them, have my sales manager sit with them. We can listen to their calls and just help them get better at the sales pipeline.
Do you feel that the way you're running the office is similar to the way you've been on sports teams? Like, it seems like it's very similar. Sounds like you're the coach. Sounds like you're helping the team with their plays, right? Daily. Is that has that helped having that background?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think just from a leadership perspective, playing sports and hyping people up and, giving them good feedback but also being real, like just being a real human being, like when you're down or struggling, help them out, try to figure out, but also give them that competitive push that you believe in them, right? And I think that all plays a factor. But yeah, I always tell my team, like, especially even during the interview process, like, we're going to hold you to high standards because the agency holds the agency itself to a high standard. So I only want to bring on the best. So, that's just level set at the beginning. And if you're not going to perform at your best, obviously I'm going to help you get there. But if you're not going to try, then I'm not going to invest the time.
Love it. Love it. What are you excited about for next year, since we're towards the end of this year?
Yeah. First of all, just close the month out strong and just trying to look to keep growing and really double what we did this year. That's my goal. This year we did 1.3 million. So next year we're really trying to double that and just keep scaling.
Love it.
Once it starts working, pour gas on that fire, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But that's why I say there's still a lot of room for improvement, especially more on the people side, in the training development. Even though we're training for 250,000, I mean, there's some folks that still have a lot of room for improvement. I have a lot of room for improvement in kind of the systems that we have in place. So it's just continuing to learn.
What are you doing currently to so you as the agency owner and being the coach for your team, what are you doing to constantly improve yourself? Not necessarily the team.
Yeah, I mean, something I'm working on right now, which I know is, so right now kind of we're letting a lot of people in through the front door. We're just killing it. It's about protecting it and making sure that our retention is there. So that's something I've really been focused on really this month and as we move forward. So we just implemented a couple of new processes with like our cancellations that are pending and bill past dues, things like that, just to make sure it takes a lot to earn in people's business. Like, we want to work hard to keep it as well.
Yeah. This has been a motif of a lot of the conversations we've been having in the last couple of weeks is how important processes are, right? You can stuff will sort of happen, but it gets out of control if you don't sit down and really put together those processes. What kind of things did you do to put these processes together and then implement them in the agency?
Put it on paper.
Yeah.
Everything's on paper, so that it could be, we know what we're supposed to be doing. Here's kind of like the script and the framework we should be following. And if you veer off that, I never call it a script. I hear a lot of people like, this is a sales script, but I don't want it to be robotic. I refer to it as a framework, because as long as you're working within the framework, then you'll be okay. Because I think it's still very important to personalize your conversations to each individual prospect or customer. So that's kind of the biggest thing from a sales side. And then on the service side is just everything's outlined, especially on the cancellation process. Like, we've built everything out on, how many times we're following up, emails, calls, etc., and conversations we should be having. But framework.
And how often are you checking in with that team member that's running each specific process? Like, let's say the cancellation audit. How often are you checking in and inspecting what you're expecting?
Now it's weekly. So to be honest with you, it's not something that, I kept an eye on it, but it wasn't something that I didn't. I should have been doing a better job of it. But it's just kind of part of the evolution of a business owner, right? I'm 13, 14 months in, so I'm learning a lot. So it's now I'm looking at it weekly. We have a Google Sheet drive that we're taking a look at every week, and she's updating me on how many people we saved and didn't save, and why did we lose them, and holding myself accountable to it too.
Yeah, those meetings, those accountability meetings are so important, and it doesn't even need to be more than 5-10 minutes. Just checking in. Let's go over what we talked about last week. Let's see where we're at. What are the goals? And did you hit them, right? Just super simple.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for sales, we do it daily. I mean, that's important. Well, 15 minutes every single day.
Absolutely. Well, George,
Yeah, from beginning to being on the corporate side to now crushing it in your agency, and it sounds like you've learned an incredible amount this year. You've come a long way. 5 times the amount from the first month in less than a year. So 5xing your first month's production. That's incredible. What would be the number one piece of advice that you would give somebody that wants to come into the industry right now, that's starting from day one with everything you've learned from both sides of the equation? What would be the number one piece of advice?
The number one piece of advice, just perseverance and keep pushing. You're going to have just from a mental perspective, you're going to have bad days, you're going to have good days. Just stay level-headed. And when you find something that works, like you said earlier, just pour gasoline on it.
Yeah.
Love it.
That is
awesome.
Love it. Well, Mr. George Carbonell, thank you so much for coming on the Insurance Dudes podcast. It is awesome to have you. Yeah. All right.
If anybody wants to reach out and learn how you've crushed it, what's the best way to to reach you?
You can shoot me an email, give me a call, Facebook. You can look me up. Facebook's easiest. Just look me up.
All
You're
right.
gonna post my name out there, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, shoot me a message.
Cool.
Awesome.
Well, thanks, dude. It was awesome to have you on here, and we'll catch up with you down the road.
See you guys.
Thanks, George.
Hey, Jason.
Yes, Mr. Craig.
That was another awesome episode, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if people want to get a little bit more action and learn how to do write 100,000 in premium
Yes.
off of even the worst internet leads, where could they go?
They can go to live.teledudes.com.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. Are we going to be there?
Yes, it's a weekly call that we're doing right now it's live, and it will show you the process. The entire process is super awesome.
I love it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Sign up right now, live.teledudes.com.
Live.teledudes.com. That's live.teledudes.com.
Hey, Craig, there's a new community that we are starting that I cannot wait to tell everybody about. It is our live texting community where you and I are going to answer people's questions and give them free content, right?
Are you kidding me? We get to talk to them?
Yeah, which is awesome, but they have to opt in. They have to text us at 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
Nice.
Craig, are you going to respond to these texts?
I'm going to respond to them for sure. Live.
I'm into it too. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be our new texting community where we're going to get back to everybody that we can and drop some crazy content, free content, and free the calculator that you just came up with. That's right. The calling calculator, sales material. I mean, everything for insurance agents. This is it. It's the best texting community out there for insurance agents.
Well, what the heck is that number again? I can't remember it.
It's 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
I love it. I'm going to text it right now.
520-214-2219.
All right. I'll see you later, Mr. Jason.
Bye, Mr. Craig.
Wait, do they even listen to this on the radio anymore?
I love it. I love it.
Nice.
All right.